I turn these simple 2D images, like the Tesla Optimus robot, the Starbucks Bearista Cup, an elf girl, and a rose, into fully 3D models only using AI. The best part? The model that I used to create this is completely free, open source, and available now. In this video, I'll show you exactly how you can do the same, even if you've never used 3D or AI tools before. Here's exactly what we're covering. First, we'll take 2D images and turn them into 3D models using the Promptus Desktop App and the HanYan 3D 2 model inside of ComfyUI. We'll then test those 3D assets in 3 different applications: Blender, Unity, and Ultimaker Cura, so you can see exactly how versatile they are and which tools fit your workflow. Before we start, let me break down exactly how this model actually works in simple terms. When you give HanYan 3D 2 an image, it does 3 things in a sequence. First, it analyzes the picture and predicts the shape and 3D geometry of the object, basically turning your flat image into a 3D mesh. Then, it applies realistic textures and materials. And finally, it renders out the complete 3D model, so what you get is a production-ready 3D asset that you can rotate, edit, rig, animate, or even 3D print. Now, why HanYan 3D 2 specifically? It's fast. It preserves details beautifully, and it handles complex objects remarkably well. I've tested several alternatives, and this consistently delivered the best quality to speed ratio, especially for different types of images. The HanYan 3D 2 model is totally free and open source, so anybody can use it directly. But here's a quick reality check. Setting it up manually in ComfyUI takes about 20 minutes of configuration, dependency management, troubleshooting, all these complicated things. But that's where Promptus comes in. Inside the Promptus Desktop App, everything's already set up for you in what we call a cozy flow. It's basically a pre-built AI workflow that just works. One click, and you're ready to generate. For creators who want to focus on ideas rather than configuration, this is the friction-free alternative. That's why I'm using the HanYan 3D 2 Cozy Flow. All I'll have to do is upload my image and hit generate. That's it. Let's do this together. First up, let's try the Tesla Optimus robot. Okay, this is actually insane. Look at the details on this. You can see every part of it. It's almost like you can see the metallic finish too. It's really clean. Oh, so cool. Okay, let's try another one. This time, let's do a rose. Oh, wow. Do you see how it got all the little curves of the petals? That's really hard to do. The depth is there too. Okay, this HanYan model is crazy. But can it handle the Starbucks Bearista Cup? This is one of my favorites. So I'm looking out because they're sold out everywhere. So it'd be good to get a 3D version. So it kind of missed out on the Starbucks logo here, but overall the shape of the bear cup is really good. I think it made a pretty good Bearista model. The final test will be an elf girl, because if you're into gaming or animation and it can do these 3D assets for you, real game changer. Okay, let's try it. Oh, this is amazing. The detail of the character, the hair, the clothing. It looks like it could be actually usable. But you know what? Let's put it to the test and figure out just how usable it really is. Because these results are impressive, especially considering that this was generated from a single 2D image. No coding and no complicated setup, thanks to the Promptus Cozy Flow that we're using. So now that these models are done, we can download them directly from Promptus as a textured mesh file that works in any 3D software. So I'm going to go ahead and download all of these as STL files for now. That works in any 3D software. And here's why it matters, why it's so important to have these great 3D assets. If you're a game developer, product designer, concept artist, or honestly anybody that needs 3D assets fast, this changes everything. You're no longer waiting weeks for modelers or paying thousands for asset libraries. You can generate production-ready 3D models from a single image in minutes. Whether you're prototyping a product, building game environments, creating animation concepts, or even prepping objects for 3D printing, this workflow cuts your production time dramatically. Okay, now that we understand why we actually need them, let's do some testing. The first place I want to try is Blender. So I've imported the elf girl model here, added a little light, and let's see what it can do. Okay, this is already a really clean render. From here, if you've got some Blender experience, you can pose it, animate it, deform it, use it for concept art, or even integrate it into larger scenes. The mesh quality is production ready, which is super cool. You can even take it to Unity, where you can import it directly into a game scene. You can add it to an environment, or you can rig it in here too, add physics, or even just use it like a static asset. She could be an NPC for you, you never know. The mesh comes in optimized and is ready to go to integrate it into the mesh of the 3D model, the mesh of this 3D asset came in already optimized, so it's ready to integrate into your game pipeline. Okay, for those of us that like 3D printing, let's take it to the Ultimaker Cura. So this will let us take it to a slicer, and then we can prep it for some 3D printing. Okay, so finally in Cura, we can prep it for 3D printing in our slicer. Imagine generating something with AI and then holding it in your hands a few minutes later. So this is really great. You can see it like as we're sliding it up and down here in the preview, that we've gone full circle from digital to physical. Now, who's going to 3D print this for me? I want to see what it looks like. I hope that all these examples showed you what's really amazing about this workflow, is that it's super flexible. You can use it to make game assets, character models, concept art, product mockups, architectural visualization, like even 3D printed collectibles, all starting from one single image. The time saving alone makes this worth exploring. What used to take a modeler days can now take you minutes. So again, the HanYan 3D2 model is free and open source. If you want to set it up manually, I'll leave you the link to the Hugging Face repository down below. But if you want the one-click experience without the technical overhead, go ahead and grab the Promptus Desktop App. It's the fastest way to start generating, because we already have this cozy flow and lots of others waiting for you to try. I'm also going to be posting a follow-up tutorial on how to clean, optimize, and rig these meshes for animation and games, so be sure to hit subscribe if you want to see that. Thanks for watching, and now go turn your images into 3D magic.